D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can read them for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm going to pretty much read them to you. And yeah, I think I got some good stories, I don't know. We shall see. Okay. So before I get started, though, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that we got the business portion out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started on these 3 stories. So my first story, and this was earlier in the week, but we had the Thanksgiving holiday here in America, and I wanted to talk about this. Okay, I wanted to do this story, but I didn't make a separate video because it was the holiday season and I got busy, and so now I have time, so I'm going to do it. So this comes from Deadline, and all of you have heard, but I wanted to talk about it because I have thoughts. So Bob Iger is back as CEO, and Bob Chapek is out. So it says, after less than a year in retirement, Bob Iger has returned as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. The company's board has set out a notice that Bob Iger is back and recently re-upped Bob Chapek is out. I am deeply honored to be asked to again lead this remarkable team with a clear mission focused on creative excellence to inspire generations through unrivaled, bold storytelling, Iger wrote tonight in his email to staffers. I have really strong thoughts on this, and I want to tell you what they are, but just give me a second and let me read this article. Let me see how long. It's not. Oh, it is long. Oh, I thought it wasn't that long. We're not going to read this whole article. Sorry, it's been like a week since I read this article, so what we're going to do is I'm going to read a couple of things here, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it. So I want to read this right here. So it says, the board has concluded that as Disney's embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely suited to lead the company through his pivotal period, said board chair Susan Arnold in the official announcement, where you can read that below. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Just a couple of weeks after a rougher than expected quarterly earnings report by the company, once an overachiever bowed by success in streaming, Disney stock has recently sunk in a multi-year low after executives warned of weak revenue and profit gains in the year to come, and also hefty expenses for streaming. The company's shares have lost roughly 40% in 2022 to date. Now, I just want to say real quick before I read any more. Overall, I think this is not necessarily the best idea. I mean, this is the problem with companies these days, and that goes for anybody. They kick somebody out, like, for instance, Bob Iger. They didn't kick him out, but he left, okay? Then they got Bob Chapek in. Now, I don't know if Bob Chapek was the best person for the job, but he's the person that they picked, and they were praising him up and down, even to the point where they renewed his contract. And yes, he was doing a lot of crap that pissed people off. And me, I don't go to the parks, and I guess that was a huge contention with a lot of people. I don't go to the parks. I'm too poor for that. But I just want to say, you hired him, he's doing a job, and you didn't give him that long to do it. I think he's been doing it for maybe like 2 years, a year, or whatnot. And you guys just expected to just overnight be a success. And a lot of the stuff that Bob Chapek had to deal with was because of Bob Iger's decisions. Bob Chapek was just doing the things that Bob Iger had set up. So it's not like he had a choice in the matter. He had to do them. You know, you have all these shows lined up for Marvel that sucked. You had all these movies coming down the pipeline. I'm sorry, Buzz Lightyear lost money. Strange Worlds lost money. It's going to lose money because they made bad choices. And this is all on Bob Iger, not Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek didn't choose Strange Worlds and Buzz Lightyear. Bob Iger did. and just didn't realize that those movies were not interested, movies that kids were not interested in, or at least their parents. And I'm sorry, as a parent, I'm not going to take my kids to that because I'm not interested in it. And I'm footing the bill for that crap. Now, as far as the parks go, I have heard a lot of people are upset because they keep nickel and diming people. They keep charging you they'll charge you like $40 for a bottle of water. And you're like, what? Calm it down. And that I totally get that portion of the program. But, I mean, come on. Like, sometimes it's like, and Bob Chapek was successful in the parks beforehand, from what I understand. I don't know anything about the parks because I don't go to those. I ain't got money to be flying down to Florida or California to be going to a Disney World and stuff. So, all right. So let's go back down here. Let's see. Okay, it says, so given the considerable turbulence experienced by Disney since Iger left the corner office, and also given as well-earned reputation for being as smooth and diplomatic a leader as Chapek could be, an awkward and blithe one, Iger was repeatedly asked if he would consider an encore. And then I don't miss the job, Iger declared during a September sit-down at the Code conference. Retirement is great. I have vastly different life than before, much more air in my day. I'm not going to go through this whole article just because it is rather lengthy. I will just say one more thing also is that, what was I going to say? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. You guys, in this reading this article. Yeah, I can't think of what it was. Back when their earnings were up a little bit, everybody was super happy. And like I said, they gave him a bonus and they kept him on and stuff. But I don't know, man. Is this a good idea? That I don't know. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Florida Parental Protection Act or whatever it was called. What they're saying is the Don't Say Gay bill. Bob Iger was all like, oh, it's wrong. And Bob Chapek was all like, we're not getting involved. They should not have gotten involved in that. I think that Disney has a good deal in Florida and they should stop fucking with that. Don't smack the hand that feeds you. Okay. Because, or whatever that saying is, I can't think of what it is. I'm sorry. They shouldn't have gotten involved. Disney needs to stop getting involved in politics. They need to stop doing it. Because whether you agree with that bill or not, don't get involved. Pay your money to both sides so you can get, and now they're going to have to start paying sides to the Republican side because Florida has turned red. I know I'm getting political a little bit. They have turned red in this last midterm election. So you're going to have to be really, kissing some Republican butt in terms of Florida goes. So Disney needs to stop, when you F around, you find out, as that video said. And Disney does not want to find out because something tells me that Ron DeSantis is not one to be messed with. So when it comes to terms of this, is it a good idea? I don't know if it's a good idea to have Bob Iger come back or to just bring somebody new on, but they've chosen Bob Iger, and hopefully he turns it around and Disney is all the better for it. And if not, it's very obvious that Bob Iger was not the best choice, but he needs to not just go on another spending spree. A lot of people want to put that crap out there, and that's not good for anybody. All right. That's all I want to say for that. So that is my first story of the week. So for my second story of the week, but this is Blade has got a new director, and he comes from he directed the show Lovecraft Country, or at least the first 2 episodes. He directed some other stuff, but that's his most notable thing, in my opinion. The rest is like, whatever. All right, so this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and it says, the project's creative overhaul also includes a new writer, Emmy-nominated scribe Michael Starbury. That's that. Good for here. Oh, it's Yann Damage. We'll just say Damage. Sorry, I forgot to mention him. That's him right there, that bald guy. So it says, Marvel Studios' Blade is being unsheathed once more, this time with a whole new creative team. Yann Demange, who directed the pilot of HBO's, maybe he just the first, I thought he did the first 2 episodes, but it's just the first episode. Oh, Lovecraft Country, which Lovecraft Country, that first episode wasn't too bad, but overall, I did not like the show. It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't very good, but whatever, it's fine. Yann, who directed the pilot of HBO's boundary pushing horror series, was it really boundary pushing? I mean, come on. Lovecraft Country has come aboard to helm the vampire action thriller that still has Mahershala Ali attached to star. Meanwhile, Michael Starbury, who earned an Emmy nomination for penning an episode of Ava DuVernay's drama When They See Us, which probably wasn't that good, has been hired to pen a brand new script for the feature, in which from what I'm hearing of what the script sounded like, it was good. That sounds like a good idea, because what it sounded like was, and spoiler alert if you don't want to know what the rumor mill was on what the story was for Blade, but apparently it's a time period piece where he's like going throughout time, but there's a little girl involved, and it's like either his daughter or Dracula's daughter or whatnot. There was only 2 fight sequences in the whole script, and at the end of it, we saw Blade die and the little girl take over the mantle, because she becomes a full-blown vampire by the end, because she gets Blade's blood. And she becomes like a super vampire. And yeah, it sounded awful in my opinion. And plus, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to these Marvel movies and movies in general, I feel like we're getting a lot of adult males with little girl, they're trying to save a little girl. And I've had enough of that trope. I really have. It's enough of it, especially with Marvel. It's like a lot. It's like the older male figure, like bringing in the female, the little girl. And it's like, ugh, I don't want any more of that. Anyway, so it says the new team puts the project back on track for after losing its original director, Bassam Tariq, and that's the movie that he directed, in September. The parting of ways was due to creative differences and occurred suddenly as the project was in pre-production and headed towards a November production start in Atlanta. Now, also with that, the Bassam Tariq guy, from what it sounded like from the rumor mill, I know you can't really, everybody's like, you can't trust the internet, but I'm like, I mean, like, true, but sometimes, people are right about stuff, but or at least when they say something, like, I heard from a source that, for instance, Bassam Tariq, he kept adding stuff to the script that Mahershala Ali did not like, and Mahershala Ali was like, I'm not doing this movie, I'm not doing it, it sounds crappy. And I just go, that sounds like it would be right. Some rumors sound like it's like dead on, because I'm sorry, people in Hollywood they suck. So and Mahershala Ali, I'm glad that he's got enough that he feels like he's got enough weight, because he is an Oscar winner, that he can be like, I'm not doing this at all. And good for him. Oh, there he is. There's Mahershala Ali. Good looking dude. Anyway, so it says, and talented, so talented. I love him. Okay, so rather than jamming another director in something that clearly needed an overhaul, Marvel pressed pause for a deeper look under the hood. I wish they would have done this for Black Panther too, put a stop to it and just did an overhaul, but they didn't. They let him go forward with that nonsense. Anyways, that meant a page 1 rewrite for the project, which had labored in the screenwriting phase. Ali was personally involved in selecting the writer, according to sources. Details are being kept under wraps, but sources say that the new intent is for Blade to dark and gritty in tone. I think they meant to say to be dark and gritty in tone, falling on the edgier side of Marvel fare, and maybe even find common shading with a fondly remembered Blade movies made in the early 2000s by New Line. And those Blade movies, the second one, the first and the second one are the first one's my favorite, and it's really good. The second one's pretty good too. I like that one a lot. The third one I feel like is underrated. There's a lot of stuff to like in there. It's just there's some stuff that I'm just like, it's not bad. Like there's stuff in there that they should have changed, but it's fine. I personally like the third one, but what are you gonna do? Okay, the plan is to go into production in Atlanta in 2023. Or 2023, maintaining Blade's release date that is set for September 6th, 2024. Blade was created by writer Marv Wolfman and artist Gene Colan for 1973's The Tomb of Dracula number 10. He is a half-mortal, half-immortal who hunts vampires in order to avenge his mother, who was killed by a vampire as she gave birth to him. Wesley Snipes previously played the character in New Line's trilogy. Demange is a French-born, London-raised director who began in TV before skewing into features with dramatic thrillers 71 and White Boy Rick. Never saw either one of those. His work on Lovecraft Country set the dark and deep tone for the series, which tackled racial themes as well as a variety of horror scares, while also giving a platform for stars Jonathan Majors and Jurnee Smollett to trampoline to star status. He is currently developing a series take on David Cronenberg's seminal horror movie Scanners for HBO, which he will direct and executive produce. He is repped by CEO. Who cares who he's repped by? They always put repped by. Starbury, who wrote the upcoming of age drama The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete, has the come up in pre-production, and Lil Ray Hari set to star. I don't know who that is. He is repped by Who Cares. Let's see. So I think that when it comes to this director, I don't know him except for that Lovecraft Country episode, which was directed well. So, I mean, good for him on getting this. This is a huge get for him. And also, Jurnee Smollett Bell, she was great in that. And Jonathan Majors, he's in the Marvel Universe as Kang. So good for him. I don't know if this had anything to do. I mean, it probably did because they probably saw his work on there. But I do think that this sounds good, that they're taking a step back and they're saying, hey, we need to overhaul this thing because Naughty Baby did a no-no by just pushing it forward into this nonsensical thing. And that if you go look for all the script details about that last script, it sounds terrible. So I'm glad that they're redoing it. That is my second story, you guys. So for my third and final story, and this one, this is not really like a concrete evidence kind of thing, but this comes from Giant Freaking Robot. It says Warner Brothers delaying long-awaited DC movie, ? And this is about the Blue Beetle movie. And I also question, are they going to delay this or just, get rid of it altogether? And I'm worried about it because, in all honesty, I do want to see this movie. And they're talking about promotion-wise. They really haven't been promoting this movie like at all. And they didn't take it to any of the Comic-Cons. And like, I think Brazil just had their, I think it's called CXC or XCX. I can't remember. If you're Brazilian, please tell me in the comment section. But I'll just say one thing about Brazil that I absolutely love. They love DC, which I am all about it. Brazil, thank you for loving DC. I don't know why you guys love DC, but I love that you love DC because I love DC also. It makes me super happy. All those comic books, the stories, the characters, all that stuff. It makes me really happy. And I'm really happy that Brazil is all in on DC properties. Like, I really love it. Like, it's so great. Okay, so let's read the rest of this article. So it says DC and the DC Extended Universe is sure to be seeing some changes in the not-so-distant future as director James Gunn has signed on to a co-CEO role at DC Studios. With a set of films like Black Adam that have not driven moviegoers to the theaters as expected, Gunn has his work cut out for him. One upcoming film in particular, Blue Beetle, has had a striking lack of promotion at recent Comic-Cons, and comicbookweek.com reports that the movie is still on track to be released by Warner Brothers Discovery on August 18th, 2023. And they're right. They're right to be concerned about this. I read that comic book movie article. They're correct to be worried about this, to be pushed back, but they and Warner Brothers really needs to step up and start promoting this movie because this is the only movie that they have, and they mention it here. This is the only movie that they have as of right now that does not have any controversy. Like the star of the show, I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. Everybody loves him because of Cobra Kai, and then and Blue Beetle. If you don't know anything about Blue Beetle, which is most people, I'm sorry. You can sit here and tell me you're the hugest Blue Beetle fan, but I'm sorry, you're not. I know. Every time I mention Blue Beetle, people are like, "Who?" And the only thing most people know about Blue Beetle, myself included, but I did just I don't have them out, but I have been buying Blue Beetle comic books to try to get myself involved in this character from the source material. But before that, the only thing I had known about about Blue Beetle was from Young Justice, and I love that character on the show. So I am interested in this movie. Like, I just want to throw that out there because I don't want anybody to think that I'm crapping on this movie. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people don't know about this character, so it would probably be good to try to promote this movie. And the cons are the best place to do it, but they don't do it. They didn't do it, at least here. Okay, so let me keep reading. Fans of the DC Comics version of Blue Beetle have noticed Warner Brothers international promotions of other films like Flash and Shazam for Fury of the Gods at the upcoming Comic-Cons in India and Japan, even if other content like Blue Beetle has been left out in the cold. Gosh, if I could read today. The Flash has had its fair share of controversy with Ezra Miller's criminal actions as of late. Fair share, it's a lot. And the sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, has been in the news due to Amber Heard's court trials with ex-husband Johnny Depp. And that's very true. That whole situation has really like plagued that movie. I really wish they would just, because from what sounds like Amber Heard's role has been reduced to just 10 minutes. And I just go, listen, recast, put somebody new in there, refilm those 10 minutes, because that shouldn't take that long, and then just get the visual effects team in there to really rework it as fast as possible. Just get a new actress in there. Just do it, DC, and Ezra Miller, I say release that movie and then just don't look back. Just don't look back. However, all these movies appear to be keeping their 2023 release dates for now. So fans of Blue Beetle should be hoping that they will watch their favorite comic book series come to life on screen. Blue Beetle has had its own journey from comic book to big screen, most notably due to Warner Brothers Discovery taking the film from streaming on HBO Max and instead setting a theatrical release, which I don't know. Again, it's the best choice just because HBO Max it sounds like they're really gonna just like gut that whole thing. But I do think that it's good that they did that because of that. But before that, I was just like, man, most people don't know about Blue Beetle. So I'm like, is this the best choice? Sorry about the yelling. Those are my children. Okay, so it says, one of the only products coming out of the DC Extended Universe to get a theatrical release, Warner Brothers chose to shelve other content like Batgirl, right, rather than release it in theaters or streaming, with major distributions coming from Warner Brothers Discovery. Getting rid of the other titles. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I had a thing. Coming from Warner Brothers Discovery and getting rid of other titles on its platforms, Blue Beetle seemed to survive a lot of challenges to stay on target for a 2023 debut. All right, here we go. Directed by Angel Manuel Soto, Blue Beetle will feature the first superhero of the DC Comics film played by a Latino lead, 21-year-old. I know I'm going to say Zolo, but that's not how you say his name. But it's Zolo Marendina. Oh gosh, it's so hard to say. Sorry, I apologize. Of Cobra Kai and Parenthood fame. I just want to say I know people that watch Cobra Kai. I personally have never seen it, and they do like this actor. So I'm glad he got this role. And I have nothing bad things to say about this movie. Yeah. Fame. The movie started filming earlier this year and will tell the story of Jaime Reyes, aka Blue Beetle, a teenager who is granted superpowers when he encounters an alien. The movie will feature an ensemble cast of actors, including Bruno Marquenzi, comedian George Lopez, Ariana Barraza, El Pita Carrillo. I'm sorry, you guys. I am hacking these names up with a machete. Damien Al-Shazar and Susan Sarandon. Oh, Susan Sarandon's in it. That's nice. She's probably playing a scientist. I did a video on some of those actors and actresses. I'll leave that in the iCard section. You guys can check that out there. Sorry, you guys. This is almost done. This is the last one. Blue Beetle will be a step in the right direction for diversity in the DC Extended Universe film, and fans are understandably excited to see the story come to the big screen. While not a lot of promotion has taken place yet for the movie, it doesn't appear that Blue Beetle's release date will change between now and August 23rd, or 2023. There are a lot of new projects underway at DC Comics and Warner Brothers Discovery, so fans will get to experience more of Zachary Levi, Dwayne Johnson, and Jason Momoa before they are introduced to Zilo Marandina. Sorry, guys. I promise I'll look how to say his name. I'm gonna use this as my ending thing. So, like I said before, I'm excited that this movie is still coming out, but I'm super bummed that they're not trying to promote it more. You know, I think that I know that Warner Brothers is maybe strapped for cash a little bit, but you gotta promote your movies, promote, or people like myself. Well, not like myself. I'm keeping track of this movie, but people like normies, they're not going to know that this movie is coming out, and they'll be all like, wait, Blue Beetle what? And I'll be like, yeah, they really haven't promoted it like they should. So all right, you guys, that is my final story this week. Tell me, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about Bob Iger leaving Disney or Bob Iger coming back to Disney and Bob Chapek leaving Disney? Is this something you're bummed about, or do you just not care? Are you like, whatever, dude, who cares? Screw Bob Chapek? Or are you like me and you like, well, Chapek was doing a lot of stuff that in the movie and TV stuff that Bob Iger had set in motion. He just had to go with it. The park stuff is Chapek's faults for sure. I'm pretty sure they'll alleviate some of that. How do you feel about Blade getting its new director of Yann Demange? Do you think this is a good choice? Like I said before, I only really know his stuff from Lovecraft Country, that pilot episode, and it was pretty good. So hopefully he does a good job with this. And I'm glad to see the movie is back on track. And then finally, how do you feel about Blue Beetle? Do you think that this is going to be good? Do you think that they're going to be able to, really hammer this home? Or do you think that they're going to push the release date back? Hopefully they don't, and they keep it going forward. All right, tell me what you guys think about this. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you're new to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye.
Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.